Hey, welcome back to Sprague River Homestead. I'm Kanan.
I'm Bob.
Hello, Bob. And this week on Would You Rather, our subject is...
Would you rather raise Cornish-Cross chickens or do homegrown heritage birds for your meat?
Ooh, this is a good one. Because we raise both here, so now we have to choose one or the other. So we're going to take 5 minutes to come up with our arguments on which we would rather choose, either Cornish or heritage birds. All right, it's been 5 minutes and we are back. Bob and I are going to debate whether or not we're going to raise Cornish or heritage birds. So, Bob, what you got? Do you like Cornish or the heritage?
You know, just as a fun aside, I have an uncle named Bob.
And Bob is cool. We like Bob.
Bob is the cool.
He's interesting.
He is the coolest uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Anyway, I am going to go with the homegrown heritage birds. And here's why. I already raise several different breeds of Wyandottes, and Wyandottes are a dual-purpose bird. I hatch a lot for the purpose of, one, replacing my own hens, but also to sell. And so roosters are just part of the byproduct. So, one, they're going to go somewhere anyway. So I like them. They're a little nastier. If anybody's ever raised Wyandottes, you know that they don't exactly have the best personality. At least the roos tend to be a little bit aggressive. Not as meaty as the Cornish, but there is something to be said for the fact that if I didn't butcher those birds, they could actually live a whole normal life. You know, they're not going to have a heart attack at the feed bowl. They're not going to collapse with joint issues at 10 weeks. Is it going to take me 16 to get a really nice bird? Yeah, it is. It takes a long time. But they will free range. They are more efficient grazers if you're going to put them out in a yard pen. And, and they're pretty. You know, there you go. You can use their feathers for other things. I usually don't, but you can. What about you? Not Bob.
I am not Bob, and my answer is going to be, I will stick with the heritage if you stick with one of the 5 or multiples of the 5 of the birds that we say are dual purpose. Now, I do like the Cornish. I do like the fact that they are big, really big meat birds. So if you want meat, they are fantastic for that. If you grow them out to, 8
weeks.
6-8 weeks, they are fantastic. We've done them out to about 14, and they become small dinosaurs, and they will produce out something grotesque in the amount of meat they produce, but it's fantastic.
We actually did, and not every line of Cornish will make it this long, but one summer we did Cornish. We got really busy. We missed the last 15.
Mm-hmm.
When we butchered those birds at, I think they were 14 weeks, we had a rooster that was 17 pounds.
Alive.
Yeah, live weight. 17 pounds. And the biggest hen in that group was, 12?
Yeah, something like that.
They were ginormous. And they're dirty. They don't groom themselves like regular chickens.
Right.
So they tend to be really dirty, stink really bad. They eat like nonstop. You have to save them from themselves.
Yeah.
The lights are on and nobody's home. They don't act like chickens. They don't do chicken things. I don't care for them. We've tried in the past to tractor them, and it's a waste of time. They'll lay on the grass, and they'll kind of eat it when they run out of stuff to eat if you don't let them have feed 24/7. But they just they're not good at any of it.
Their meat production, and I will give them credit for that. Cornish are awesome at growing meat. If you want to get some birds from a hatchery, grow them out for a couple months on good quality feed, they're going to produce some of the most tender, awesome meat.
See, I think it's bland.
Well, it is bland, but a good sauce on it, the barbecue sauce is pretty awesome. Now, on the flip side of that, heritage birds are going to be awesome. We have an incubator, so we can basically, most of the year, produce next generation birds. We can hatch out. Cornish are not going to do that. And yes, they can lay eggs, but they're not going to be fertilized. Mm-hmm. Not easily. I mean, it can happen, but it's not going to be statistically in your favor.
They don't breed true either.
So I would say if you want something for meat, the Cornish are awesome. If you want something to graze, you want something to be reproducible, and you want something for eggs, go with the Heritage. And if you're going to do that and you're still looking for meat, go with the 5 we choose for the 5 dual purpose, because they will give you everything you want. They'll give you a good quality meat. They will be good at cleaning up bugs or whatever else. They can free range, and they're going to be able to be hatched on a good, consistent basis. You can hatch your own birds.
From a sustainability
Yeah.
standpoint, the dual purpose are the better way to go.
Yep.
They really are.
Yep. So I think on this one, we are both going to choose to go with Heritage birds. And for our setup, it really works because, again, we have multiple incubators, and it works for us because we can continue every year producing more and more and more birds. And all we have to do is buy just the required feed outside of what we can naturally feed them.
I will say, if you are on a time crunch, if you really don't want to raise birds for very long, the Cornish is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
The price on them really kind of went up this last year. I still got a pretty good deal on mine, but yeah, they went up a little bit. Then feed was really expensive, so birds that will do, more different kinds of feed, grass and that kind of stuff, is definitely more cost effective. But you can't argue that the Cornish is crazy quick. I mean, like, they go from this big to this big in like a week, and they really are producing a fully dressed 4-pound bird at 6 and 7 weeks if you're raising them right. So if you're on a time crunch, if you don't want to hatch your own birds, there's nothing wrong with doing the Cornish. But yeah, we're going to go with the Heritage.
Yep. Now, speaking of meat, be sure to pick up a cookbook. There's a link down in the description to Nikki's Rabbit cookbook. And like she said in many other times, just because it says rabbit doesn't mean you can't use the same recipes and substitute in chicken, quail, beef, lamb, whatever it wants. The recipes are not specific to rabbit, but they are delicious across the board.
They're pretty versatile. Rabbit tends to be very much like chicken in that it's a pretty neutral meat. So a lot of these recipes you can use for other stuff and still get really good flavor. We're not reinventing the wheel. Some people have said to me, wow, these are pretty simple recipes. Look, we're homesteaders. And I will be the first to admit that I do not like to cook all that much. I don't. I do in the winter a little bit because I have more time, but in the vast majority of the year, I'm busy. So I want quick, I want easy, I want to get dinner on the table, and I want to get back to whatever it is that we're doing. So make sure to hop on over to Amazon. I do still have some copies if you want an autographed book or autographed to somebody. You can email me at srhomestead@yahoo.com, and I'm happy to do that. Cost is about the same thing to cover mail because mail's gone up.
So that's it. 2-0 on the Heritage birds. What do you guys think? Would you rather do Cornish or would you rather do Heritage birds? Leave it down in the comments below, and you have to answer and tell us why. You can't just tell us which one. We want to know why. Now, if you have other items you want to add on to our Would You Rather list, you can also leave those down in the comments. We've had some great suggestions from our viewers, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube. We have added those into our magical hat, and we will continue to make these on Would You Rather. So that's it for this time from Spray River Homestead. We'll see you next time.
Happy homesteading.